Welcome and bienvenue, Courtney Davis. Courtney Davis started creating his art in 1977 and had his first book published in 1980 and have had subsequently created another 52 published works up until the present day. He has exhibited his work in the USA, Japan, Norway, France, and had several exhibitions in cathedrals, churches, as well as demonstrating his art at the British Museum during the Matter of Britain exhibition that displayed a large series of gospel books. So Courtney's topic for today is Merlin Awakes. So tell me, Courtney, how did it all begin?
Hello, everybody. When I was born with a curvature of the spine, and in 1974, I had an operation because I was losing feeling in my legs and on my body, and so I had an operation to help solve that problem. And about a few days afterwards, I was lying in my bed, and I felt somebody grab my foot, and I looked to the end of the bed, and there was nobody there. But I could feel this person started massaging my left leg, and I could tell by the feel of the fingers that it was actually my grandmother that was massaging the foot. And gradually through the day, the massaging started going further up my leg, and this carried on for most of the day. And then later on in the evening, this is 1974, and so hospitals are very, very different from hospitals of now. And so you would have a TV in the center of the room, and everybody in the beds could watch the TV. And so on this night, the lights went down, and some people were asleep, but we were watching the Sun TV awards on the television. The massaging was still going on. And then about halfway through the program, I felt this like a whoosh go across my body, and then back again. And with that, the hands that were holding my leg, they just held the foot, and I started going out of the wall of the hospital, and I got halfway out of the hospital, and I said, "Look, I don't know what you want to do, but I'd like to stay with my body." So I went through this whole operation. Oh, hang on. Before the operation actually started, what they did, when they were taking me out of the body, they started taking me what you could say like the lower realms, and they took me into the lower realms, and there was like kind of people that were kind of ugly and stuff like that. They were all coming up close to me, and a voice said to me, "Don't worry, Courtney, they can't harm you." And then gradually they started taking me through all different levels of whatever. And at this point, you have to understand that I wasn't really into spirituality, and so a lot of what was going on now, I didn't really have any interest, you know. And so anyway, so it was like moving up the side of a skyscraper with all the windows lit, and then faster and faster and faster, and then there was this amazing light, and then I was back with my body. And what they started doing was I would get like hot needles cutting out of my body, and then there'd be a jolt, and they would take whatever this part of the body and take it away, and then they come back and they slot it back in again, and they would take me out of the body. I was floating above the body, and then they would fit me back in again. And so this went on for it felt like about an hour. And all the time this was going on, I was still watching the Sun TV Awards. And so this is bizarre. And so what happened was that after a while, the operation stopped, and I looked, and at the end of the bed there was what at the time I thought was 8 monks standing in, and they were discussing what they'd done and as then they turned, and then in the middle of this hospital ward, this enormous staircase came, and these 8 monks started walking up this staircase. And while this was going on, right, the whole room was filled with like a plasma, what they call it, ectoplasm, and in those days, the hospitals they would let you open windows and stuff like this. So this ectoplasm was started drifting out of the windows, and then in the corner of my eye, there was the door to the ward, and it had round windows, and I could see there was a nurse coming close, and she was going to be opening the door, and just as she opened the door, it was like in slow motion as she opened the doors, so the last bits of the smoke disappeared, and so did the staircase. I mean, so that was it, you know. So yeah.
That's pretty amazing experience. You were a young man. Were you a teenager or in your
20s? Yeah, in my 20s. Yeah. I was in the I was a jewelry designer. I was a diamond cutter, and I would create designs in gold and silver and platinum and stuff like that. Yeah. So at this point, I had a really good job. I had lots of money, and I had, I could spend and that, and so but after the operation, and I left the hospital. I went to where I was working and said that I can't work anymore. I just felt that I just wanted to give back. I could feel like something very special had been given to me, and I needed it now to give it back. And so I for a time so for about 5 or 6 years, no, about 5 years, I searched to find out what was going to be my job, because I felt that, and so I tried all different religions, and I found that each of them I shouldn't really be connected, but I can accept them and get joy from them, but I needed to be on my own, separate.
Right. So you did some research and learning about different religions.
Yeah.
And spiritual traditions.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, what happened was that my father died, and I had to start looking after my mother, and I had plenty of time on my own, and so I started doing pencil drawings. And at the time, I was working at a natural food factory, and they used to have a little magazine, And they saw one of my pictures, and they said, "Oh, we'd like to put that on the cover." And so gradually, I got the encouragement to carry on drawing. The pictures I was doing were kind of like William Blake kind of stuff, and they were kind of like some of them were really kind of, I wouldn't say angry, but they were painful. Okay. And a girlfriend of mine at the time, she didn't like the pictures, but I started doing little kind of knotwork borders, and she said, she used to really like the knotwork borders, but she wasn't really keen on the middle pictures. And because of that kind of encouragement, I started drawing more and more kind of Celtic. So I was creating this stuff, and I got invited to the very first festival, Mind and Body, in London, to do have a small exhibition and one of the first people that came in to see the pictures and stuff was a guy that commissioned me to do a picture of Merlin. He said that I don't want to give you any ideas of what the picture should do. All he said was, what I want you to do is go out at night, look up at the plough in the sky, and ask Merlin for help. And so after I'd finished the exhibition, I went and I stood out and asked Merlin for help. And as I said it, so a shooting star went through the plough. So, yeah, and so at this time, a lot of the Celtic pictures that I was doing were very long, laborious, and really, I would take ages and ages just doing one picture. But when I came back from asking Merlin for help and sat at the drawing board, these little blue lights started touching the pictures, and this is, even I think it's crazy, some of the stories, right? But anyway, so these little lights would touch a picture, and gradually they would kind of, sometimes there wouldn't be the lights, but what there'd be like a finger poking me in the back, and it was like they were teaching me what to do and what not to do. Anything that I wanted to add into the picture would stop. But as soon as I took out something that I wanted to add, then the picture would carry on. And for a few years, that's how we worked. And then I did the commission of Merlin for this guy, and he introduced me to somebody that was in communication with Merlin, and so we did the first book, which was called Merlin the Immortal, and from that came another book called Merlin Awakes. So, yeah.
This is a fantastic story. I did not know all of this about you.
Yeah.
I had commissioned a painting from you several years back.
That's what I,
Yes, I had.
Yeah. I remember we met up at St. Pancras Station.
Right, we met at St. Pancras.
Yeah.
Great memory.
Yeah.
And you delivered the painting. It was a painting of a woman with a harp, because I was learning to paint.
That's right. Yes.
I was learning to play the harp at the time.
Yeah.
And I unfortunately have not mastered the harp, but I still sing. And
Okay.
it was a wonderful, short but wonderful meeting with you. So I've kept you in my mind all these years, and I said, oh, one day if I
Right.
have to talk about creativity, I must talk to Courtney. So
Right.
this is how you work with the energies that guide your brush and pen. You 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 open yourself up to Merlin,
Yep.
and the lights and the pokes indicate where you should work and where you should not work.
Yeah. So yeah. So and that's how we worked for a couple of years. It's as if it, I've just been taught how to, and then what started to happen was that I would I would start having this pressure coming across, and it was like I was pushed out the side, out the way, and the the, um, the energy then started to work much quicker, and with so for nearly for I'm trying to work out. I think it was nearly 40 years. Okay, on the 53 books. So I had to do a painting a day, and um, so it would be every day I would sit in the at the studio or whatever, and this pressure would come, and then together we would work and get all these paintings um, done. For me, the really interesting fact is that since coming to Ireland, right, and I've been in Ireland now just over 10 years. Okay, and because I'm in a gallery, and so a lot of my time is spent working in the gallery, um, and just weekends that I do the painting. And what I discovered was that I listened to an article, a interview with Bob Dylan, right? And somebody said to him, you know, why don't you create the kind of songs that you wrote in the early days? And he said, I can't. It wasn't me that was creating those. And I suddenly realised, you know, what was going on for me, because when I sit at the drawing table, right, and now, well, when I was working for 40 years, right, I was in the studio and I was painting every day. So every day I was in that flow of the Merlin energy, but because I was um, not working continuously, and I was finding that a lot of my drawings, when I started a drawing, they were really amateurish. Okay, and I would spend like about a couple of days, you know, and I just couldn't um, um, draw anything that was that I felt, you know, that was good. And then all of a sudden, what happens is that you know, the energy comes back again, and and the next day the way that I draw is totally different. So yeah.
This is
Yeah.
amazing. So you don't feel that it's just a team. You feel that it's singular, that it's Merlin himself, or
Well,
with
the
other
thing is that
light beings.
for yeah, for say 40 years, you know, a lot of people used to say, oh, Courtney, you're Merlin, you know, and this stuff. And then one day, 12 years ago, a year before I came here to Ireland, I was at a friend's house, and about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, um, the I was in, no, there was a room, but Courtney wasn't in the room. But it was like I was the walls, I was everything that I could feel. Just I sensed that I was, no, it wasn't, I can't even sense. I just was
You were part of
everything.
everything?
Yeah. And I had my friends um, could see that something was going on, and so she came and she kind of talked Courtney back into the body, but the connection, the connection never completed. I was, so this kind of is Courtney Davis, but I'm kind of like, I'm not Courtney Davis. I'm just awareness. I'm aware of, you know. I try to say to people that if it's like you got a computer game, all right. So you're sitting there and you're watching the computer game. Now you've got an avatar, yeah. And there's playing in this and there's rules and everything in that game, but you're not the avatar. You're separate, you know, and watching, and that's the way I feel that my life as I came to the Hill of Tara, which is the hill of the High Kings of Ireland. I came here for a cup of coffee, right? And the guy recognised me and said, "Would you like an exhibition here for 2 months?" And it was a totally empty barn, right? And I came here to Tara with no money, and because I'd been living in my car in England and all kinds of stuff. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing I always say to, you know, people say, you know, oh, you know, I'm connected with Merlins, and I say, you know, from the experience that I've had, I've lost my business 4 times. I'm like a phoenix rising all the time.
Yeah, a gypsy phoenix, huh? A gypsy phoenix.
Yeah. So anyway, so I came here. In the first couple of weeks, I sold a painting for €6,000, and it gave me the money that to create the building that I'm in now, and that 2 months turned to 10 years, you know, and when I started, it was just a few paintings on the walls, but now it's a shop. Down upstairs, we've got a meditation room where we have about 20 events a month. So I mean, I always say to people, you know, you just never know. You know, I was in my late 60s when I came to Tara, and as far as I'm concerned, you know, I was retiring, and that was it. I'm working harder now than I've ever did in my life. But the thing is that where before it was sometimes like a chore. This. I always say to people, this is my playground now. You know, I wake up every day and I'm excited at things that I can do, and the lovely people that come into the gallery and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you asked yourself, how could you give back? And you have, haven't you? You've put out all this inspired artwork.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've created this center for meditation and events now in Ireland. And you're in Tara on the Hill, is that it?
Yeah, the Hill of Tara. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So what are your thoughts on the future?
Well, I'm going to be 79 this year, so
Well, bless you, bless you. That sounds wonderful,
so
and
yeah,
very
so
wise, I should say, very wise. With all those years of working close with the spirit.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm really enjoying my life, and just kind of you just never know, what the universe has got, So yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, thank you, Courtney. This was such an amazing story to hear about your life
Thank you.
and your process. And what do you work with now? On weekends, you do artwork or not at
Yeah,
all?
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
The weekends, yeah, yeah. I'm working on an angel pack at the moment.
And do you use pencil? Do you use paintbrushes? What do you use? What
Yeah, I use
medium?
gouache. Yeah, gouache and pen and ink. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I've tried doing computer stuff, but it's never got. There's no heart for me. There isn't any heart in it, So
Oh
yeah,
no, because what you do with your hand comes from a different place than the computer
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
digital
yeah, yeah,
artwork.
yeah, yeah,
There's a quality of energy in people's handmade work that you don't find with machines
oh
of
yeah,
any sort. And
absolutely. Yeah,
I'm so glad to hear that you didn't find the digital art interesting or tempting.
no,
Um, we will see lots of different people doing different things and exploring different media.
yeah,
And I have no problem with that. But when you come back to the handmade work, there's something very special about it.
yeah, and
So,
especially now that it's all this AI stuff, and I mean it's yeah, I always think about the pre-Raphaelites and William Morris and people like that, and I just feel that yeah, that's the kind of spirit that we want to bring back. That
yes, we are
it's
creators, aren't we? We're
yeah,
creators. We must be
absolutely,
creators.
absolutely, yeah, and it's a blessing, and it's um, there's dedication and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
When I was younger and lived in the States, I had studied art and art history, visual arts, and did some painting, a lot of drawing. So I appreciate the work that you do, and it's fascinating. It's really fascinating. I have some of your books. I think one of them is St. Patrick.
oh,
The
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
there's a book many years ago you published on St. Patrick, and we just passed St. Patrick 2 days ago. But I was thinking of wearing green today, and I said, no, well, it's a little past tense, but anyway. But so you at your drawing table, you
yeah,
work with gouache,
yeah,
and pen and ink,
yeah,
and you've done work of Merlin. You've done representations of Merlin many,
yeah,
many times, and now you're
yeah.
working on an angel. Can you talk more about the angel?
Again, this thing of being the separation, and so I, when I first came here, I did a series. I think it's probably around 40 goddess, Irish goddess designs, and then but for the last couple of years, it's been more of the angel. And what happens is that um, I try to not get involved in the story. Is trying to kind of connect with the energy, and what happens is that um, when when I finished that design, it's like there's a blackboard inside, and somebody comes and wipes all the story away. And so most of the stuff that of paintings that I have, people ask me, what's the story? But it's like, what happens is that people start looking at the pictures and they find their story, and rather than me telling them, and so yeah, it's kind of waking people up to the connection.
Well, it seems that your artwork is highly inspired, very deeply spiritual, and the energy translates somehow through your hands into the work. And it's an amazing, amazing process that you go through. Is there anything else you'd like to share with me or the people in the audience?
I think I'd say I was living in my car, and my mum died, and it gave me the opportunity to come to Ireland, to visit Ireland, and I moved to the West Cork, and there was a fairy tree that I used to go to, and on this one occasion, it felt like this angel wrapped itself around me, and it was a very, very strong feeling. And a couple of days later, somebody said to me, "Let me take you to the Hill of Tara." And that was when I had the cup of coffee, and that's all this started. So yeah. I mean, my life has been so blessed. I mean, I've had all kinds of stuff. Been attacked. You could think in 1984, when I did the first Merlin book. I mean, I was kind of drawing from Book of Kells and all different manuscripts and stuff like that. But I had a small gallery in Saffron Walden in Essex. And I used to get my windows smashed, and I would be attacked in the street by Christians, because they didn't kind of understand what they thought I was in league with the devil. And so it's been fascinating. And in the small gallery that I had, I used to let practitioners work from there. And this was before aromatherapy, or this was the beginning. And so for a lot of people, aromatherapy was a joke, but it's been lovely watching over all the years, all these therapies coming into play. I mean, it's been beautiful, coming from nothing, yeah.
We're going
and
through
also
quite a change in our culture and globally.
Yeah. And but in those early days, there was a lot of esoteric books, but there wasn't any kind of like new age books. There's only a few. And so it's been really lovely watching all these new teachers coming in, and the whole thing kind of developing, and the very fact, there's conferences now and stuff like that. I mean, it's wonderful,
Well, I'm really glad that it turned out well for you, and people don't bother you where you are now. I mean, you're very accepted in the community, and you're part of the community. Yes, that's so important. Well, I think that we've come to the end of our time. Okay, well, I thank you so much.
You
Namaste.
Namaste.
And many blessings, Courtney.
Thank you. And many blessings to everybody in the,
The
that's
audience.
watching.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.